YouTube. Yeah, so guess who painted this? Yes, so this has a wee bit of a story to it. I got this. I bought an old Telecaster off a guy in Coatbridge, was it? Somewhere out there, Airdrie, something like that. And he said, "I've got a couple of guitars sitting in my garage," which is the garage wasn't near his house. It was like kind of half a mile away. And he gave me a Flying V and a Futurama, which I've still not done anything with. Um, this had a it was basically just a no, well, no, it did actually. That is the original bridge. It had the original bridge on it, although this isn't the original tailpiece, and the scratch plate, which is there actually. There's a bit snapped off it, so I'm making a scratch plate for it. The neck, he told me was from a Hondo Les Paul. I'm not sure. It kind of looks very much like the Shaftesbury neck I've got. Everything, like the inlay's identical. So I'm not really sure exactly where the neck came from. And this is, as you can see, a J-Pax painted one. So the first time, I told this story many times, me and Scott were fixing our shed, cladding our garden room, whatever you call it. And she offered me a guitar, that one. You want this payment for doing the shed? Cool. Just a car boot sale job. I'll paint it. I'll turn it into a Buckycaster. She asked me what it was going to be. I said that's like green and yellow. So she did that instead, and it looked pure amazing. So we went round the next day to finish off the shed. I grabbed guitars because I thought I not really that into art, but I really dig that graffiti thing she was doing on things. So I just grabbed a couple of guitars. Well, I took 3 over, basically the next day. Like, paint these, that'd be good. There's practice. So we read bass. Was one of them. This had been hanging up in my garage for 2 years, something like that. I tried painting it silver. It was all covered in stickers and it was falling to bits. And it was, and the neck doesn't really fit properly. And it had a Les Paul headstock. So I grabbed that, took it round. Also grabbed this bass, which I got at one point. This is not yet done because it turns out the neck's goosed. Really annoying because it's a really nice Yamaha bass. So yeah, these are my. Not really thinking about it. It was really just in case Jen decided not to paint any more guitars. I was like, I've got a couple of guitars that are just useless. Just paint them, use them as practice, and I mean, I'll maybe spur me into doing it. So the reason these have taken so long, this is number, I don't know. So that the bass is number 3. So this is like, I don't know, 4 or 5 or something. I don't know why I'm looking. I've not numbered it. And the bass must be 5 and 6 or something like that. So they're early J-Pax prototypes. One of the problems with this one was it had Les Paul headstock, and I've got a thing with a Flying V's got to have the right shaped headstock, and that is not necessarily the right shaped headstock. I think I might round it off a little bit more. So basically, I filled the holes, re-drilled them, and then made it pointy. So that was a Les Paul headstock, but the Les Paul headstock on it, just looking at it, made me go, can't do that. I'm going to get to paint it, I think. Well, I have to do something with it because it's still bare wood around the outsides. So I stuck this together yesterday. As I was saying, the problem with it was, it seemed like a Flying V scratch plate. Obviously, I couldn't have reused this one, but I was going to draw around it and make it out a checker plate, the metal aluminium stuff. The problem is it covers up half the guitar. There's not really, but you're covering up an awful lot of art. There's an awful lot of fancy bits that kind of go between it. So what I did on Sunday, I was like, right, I'm going to try and make a scratch plate that fits inside the routing. I don't know if you can really see that. So this purple stuff, it wasn't going to be purple, but Scott gave me this purple scratch plate material because he'd made a couple of Telecaster plates or something out of it. So the piece of scratch plate had, it was like a square that size with bits cut out it, and there wasn't enough to make. You could make like a Les Paul scratch plate or like a back cavity cover, but it was a really odd shaped piece that was kind of like this. And I was thinking, right, I'm going to try and make this. I was going to make it out of plywood, to try and to sort of fill in the hole so you're not hiding any of the art. And then I saw the purple bit, and it just happened to fit. It was like one shot, and there was enough to actually fill in the neck route. The channel that runs it down, not enough to fill in the bridge, but that's fine because I was going to put a pickup with a cover on it there with a ring on it anyway, and then enough to fill out this bit. I had this playing last night after making a new nut but doing a lot of faffing about just to make it work. And the intonation was so far off, it was ridiculous. It was really annoying. It was like, it sounded great in the open chords. As soon as you went up here, it was just pure. Because it was. So what I had to do was this morning, I just, no fear, I just went straight in, went mad with the Dremel and took like 10 mil out of the neck pocket, slid it back. Now it's in tones. I've not been over it with a fine tooth comb yet. The nut's still a wee bit high on the outer strings. It's alright, you know, a wee bit work, but it's actually playing now, and it's playing in tune. The plan, I had this purple hump. Obviously, Jen had no input to the colour of this piece of scratch plate because it's the wrong. It's probably just full of sawdust actually. Because as you notice, it's like obviously the flying V, the output's there, which means the jack. So the lead's always in the way because obviously a flying V, you have to play it like this. It's got to go inside your leg, especially when you're sitting down. It has to, because that's how you play a flying V. Unless you're Dave Davies, Ray Davies, who plays it like this, which is no. So it's got to be able to do that, and the lead's always in the way. So, although it wasn't the easiest option, I put a Strat type jack socket in there. Obviously, it was great fun drilling a hole all the way through the body. Well, let's be honest, I drilled 2 holes. One of them must be here somewhere. So there's a hollow chamber that runs up to not going into the pickup cavity, and then the second time I did it, I got the angle right, and it came out in the middle of the pickup. So, all that. It's not finished yet. The head's not been painted or reshaped. I still think it's too pointy. It kind of looks like a Burns Flight, Flyte. It's got a headstock a bit like that. It's got the bridge off an a Japanese Avon Rose Morris, which I got crushed. The body was all split open and stuff like that, but still had bits on it. That's where that came from. The bridge, the tailpiece was already on this guitar, so that's fine. Pickup my pal gave me. I think it's just a Chinese modern one, but it's purple. It's quite a powerful one, and it's coil splittable. The knob came off that Avon. So did the strap buttons. I can't find the neck plate for this. The original neck plate for this was a made in Japan one though, so I'm pretty sure this is a Japanese body. Not sure about the neck. It might be, but the one off the Avon was again made in Japan, and it also fitted, which makes me wonder if it was maybe the same kind of guitar. Well, it was a Les Paul, but it's not exactly the same size of neck plate as a normal Strat one. But this one is. It's exactly the same, lines up with the holes perfectly. There's the back of the guitar. Obviously it goes all the way around. Yes, so I kind of tried to be non-committal. I didn't want to put the output jack on the plate because then it's there. So I decided, later on I'll maybe put this fancy one in, but I didn't. So only got one knob just now. It might be getting a tone. I don't know. But what I was thinking as well, I don't even know, is it lying about somewhere easy to find? I'll show you. Yeah, it is. Yeah. I was thinking maybe a white rail humbucker in the neck position. Maybe. Just because then I could use this piece of purple and have it kind of recessed in it, and then if I put a humbucker there, I would have to have some sort of switch and another tone control. So therefore I've not committed to putting 2 tone controls in, because it'd be different if I put a switch in. That's not been decided. It might just be staying like this. Scott was very adamant. No, a 1-bucker flying V, that'll be awesome. So that's what it is just now. But the neck's actually quite good. It's a real baseball bat of a neck, which some people wouldn't like, but I do kind of like. I like something that's a bit different. I'm going to have to move the strap button. It's just slightly neck heavy. Do the wiggle test. It's not bad, but I mean, the strap button's there. I'm pretty sure it can go on the heel there, and then it'll sit perfect. So I'm playing a flying V, so and then I can't remember what it's on. Not as fast as that. Too many people! Attention and pain. Many people do not know. It's not insane. no way I could have done that yesterday. So it'd just be like a whole note out. Also, I'm going to say that, in fact, I do know why it happened. This guitar only had 21 frets. What had happened is at some point, whenever it was previously, had bolted this neck onto the guitar. I noticed actually the original bridge, the saddles were all rammed to the top, and it was like, that's quite strange. I wonder why that happened. It's because the neck wasn't far enough into the body, so basically they tried to intone it, but it's an out of intone guitar is just horrendous. When the bridge is in the wrong place. It happened to one of the Chinese Telecasters I had when I bought it in China, and I'm sure it happens with Harley Benton's as well. It's like when you get it's just like if it doesn't intone it, just you can't really if it just sounds so out of tune, it's ridiculously horrible. I mean, this is not perfectly intoned. I've not adjusted it yet. I just guessed, but I mean it doesn't make you want to rip your hair out as soon as you start playing anywhere up above about the third fret, which is I consider good. But the 22nd fret, the 21st fret was missing, and I think what's happened is when someone was trying to bolt it on the neck onto whatever previously, they drilled the hole all the way into the screws they used were too long, and I think it basically just pushed the fret out. So this is my first ever refret. So I refretted this guitar by putting one fret in it, and I got it from an old smashed up acoustic that's been in my garage for ages. And I just basically measured, I don't know which fret it was I took out, got one that was the right length, heated it up with a soldering iron and prized it out with a Stanley knife blade, stuck it in this, hammered it in, levelled and crowned it, and I was going to say I'm sure it works, but I've not actually tried it. Did have to get to. Maybe if I wasn't making that face, it would work. Yeah, maybe a little bit more. I need to get done. Oh, that looks very much like the Hermes Delivery Man. Am I getting Hermes Delivery stuff? Oh, it might be my strings. That'd be awesome. Hold on, I'll just pause this. Hey, so it's now about half an hour later. I've no idea. I just hit pause when the guy came with. It's like, Papa! No more excuse for having shite strings on guitars. They're all having strings now. Got a special deal. Thanks, Wayne, who's an Aria Pro dealer. So we've got Aria Pro. They do say designed in Japan strings on them. They're alright though. They're pretty good. Yeah, so I can't remember what I was getting to, so whatever it was I said about this guitar is going to have to stand, and I've probably missed out a lot of really exciting, interesting things about it, but just have a quick look at it. I'm going to play the bass along with that backing track I put up. As I said, this one's getting his head painted. Actually, I was going to keep this one a secret from Jen. I was like, I've got this idea with this, this flush-mounted scratch plate, and so I sent the video to Scott yesterday. A video when the action was still like this. I didn't realise it didn't intone. So it's working, and Scott was actually at Jen's house, and he'd ran away with it, and I got a message from Jen like that, threatening. It's like that tone of voice. I was like, I just sent it the video, so he's already seen it anyway, so it's fine. Yes, so she's having problems with somebody's ordered wanted a short scale bass done an American guy, but I don't actually. I'll wait till I get a short scale bass, but he couldn't wait, so he's bought one off eBay in the UK somewhere. It's shit. But so Jen's really upset about it because it's like, oh, it's not very good. It's plywood, and it's like the paint's not quite sticking to it, and it's like the bits of it are glued together, and it's like that's people expect it is possible to get an amazing guitar for not very much money. It's up here, 150 quid you can get like a pure banger of a Japanese guitar. What, this month? Oh, I don't know. Oh, you don't want a white one? No. The way you get these things, if it's like pure, oh, I want one of these, I want that exact guitar. In a year, you've got a chance of getting one, but it's got to be red. Right, okay. but it's got to be the one with the humbucker in it. Every time it gets less and less. The way you get the great stuff is to buy, just to find it. And so you don't really get a choice in colour and exactly which model it is, and when you buy it, it's got to just be, you've got to keep looking about and see something and go, whoa, you're in. Yeah. Anyway, what was I doing? I was playing this. A wee bit like Purple Stormbringer, that bass line. I love playing this thing. It's like, have I said that before? Maybe I have, but it's like, it doesn't matter which ones are the most expensive or which ones are the best of the J-Pax guitars. This is the best bass ever. It changes colour slightly every day as well. Just pretending what's shining on it. But that's not today's guitar. Today's guitar is the Flying V. Number, I can't remember, 6, something like that. 5, 4. I think, what's this one again? This one was a couple of weeks later. 14? Yeah, so it's good before that. This is before the sort of stripy ones come out. This is still the initial graffiti phase, although I think Jen has just done one that is the sort of the graffiti thing again. You gonna call it a reissue? I don't know. Played the bass a bit enthusiastically there. One of the problems with only having one pickup when you're doing the backing track thing is you've got to remember to turn it right down when you're doing the rhythm track. Also, you have to play with the same sound. Just not on the delay thing. What, demo it clean? It's a Flying V. You don't play clean on a Flying V. That's one of the things that was kind of put me off the idea of putting in I thought about putting that the hot rail humbucker in the neck, and then maybe putting an Ibanez RG, your Cortex switch where you get the 5-way thing I was talking about, the one I put in white in Scott's white FGN. That. But then you start going, if you're looking for super versatility, able to, why are you playing the Flying V's just for rock? Bah! Yeah. Just for Judas Priest. Obviously, there are people that play clean flying V. Does BB King not play one at one point? In fact, I think BB King, I've not seen a video of him playing one with a Les Paul headstock on it. There was also a point I was going to put a Bigsby on this, because I thought, I've got a piece of metal I was going to bolt on here, because I've seen that, you know, so the Bigsby's kind of floating in space, but it would look cool, but ultimately it's going to be shit. And also, you've got to be able to put it in your leg. If you can't put your leg in the middle of it, there's no point in having a flying V. Yeah. So I'm now going to get on to this Explorer. I did this video first because I'm going to spend this afternoon putting an Explorer on, and last night YouTube decided that it was going to take over 2 hours to what's the word used, process. I'm kind of falling out with YouTube a little bit. I've now been demonetized with no excuse. Right. So just demonetized from the live stream because we don't like you. You're not towing the line. You're not doing what everyone else is doing. Bastards. So I'm going to have to set up a Patreon thing just so I can get some money. You charge a couple of people. 100 people gave me £1 a month. That's like more than twice what I get off YouTube anyway. Surely that can't be too bad. Also, I've got so many videos out in the car that I've just got on the computer that I never bothered putting out. Kind of try to focus a little bit more on guitars. So I suppose a Japanese guitar, I don't know how much of it has to be Japanese before it to be Japanese guitar. So we've got Japanese body, I'm pretty sure. Japanese neck plate, Japanese neck bolts. Not Japanese tuners. Possibly Japanese neck. Japanese design strings, not on it just now. These are old strings, but I will be putting a set of the Aria ones on it. That's a Japanese knob. So 50%. By weight, I think 50% Japanese. So a Japanese flying V. Got to be, done it. Rock on. Catch you later. And tomorrow I'll be doing. I was waiting for parts for that. Chris, that's my pal's Explorer. It had active EMGs in it, and he wanted me to take the active EMGs out and then sell the guitar and the active EMGs separately. But if you know anything about pickups, active pickups need different types of pots. They're like 25k, not 500k pots, and because it doesn't have a scratch plate, they've got to be the long pots, which I don't have any of, so I had to order them. I did mean I got like I got like a Les Paul set. That's only got 3 knobs on it, but I got like the 2 and 2, so that I've got one for the wee red bass because it's getting a new volume pot as well. And I've still not found the not Yngwie Malmsteen, the Eddie Van Halen tone pot, which says Eddie Van Halen on the back of it. I've totally got it somewhere. That's going in the wee red bass. I just can't find it. What I'll do is I'll put another pot in it and then I'll find it half an hour later, which is fine because it'll only take 10 minutes to swap it over later. Rock on!